Yeah.
Andrew Chester.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 19, number 19, Bob.
Yes.
Is
it really?
It is. Of the 740 Sports Show. I'm Eric. This is Bub.
What up?
Hey, Bub. And this is Brown.
What's going on, guys?
Bringing you a Turkey Day edition of the 740 Sports Show. As you can see, it's our days off. We're in football gear. There's going to be... I'm in my, Brett Favre commercial football gear, right? Like my regular commercial,
Where's
right?
your copper fits at?
Yeah, dude.
I actually got one of those back braces somewhere.
Put it on.
Something tells me that you're going to need it here.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, I am.
We're going to get to some of that. But we've got the Turkey Day edition here of the show, boys and girls, and we've got a good one lined up for the folks. Bub, why don't you give the folks a little bit of a rundown as to what this show is going to be about here?
Well, we started off the day with, some domination on the football field. Me
did.
versus the kids.
Bubba against the world.
Nothing really to talk about there. We'll
Yep.
have another video.
All right. Well, since you're so full of words, I'll just take it from there.
Yeah, why
then,
don't you
Bub.
describe it? I'm not really... I can't right now.
Hey, you're good. You're good. We're going to give you all the time in the world to regroup here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lead you through what we've got here in store. First of all, Bub, after we get through our Turkey Bowl recap that you're so thrilled to discuss, we're going to have the people discussing, learning about your Thanksgiving plate.
Oh, yeah. Like
We got to talk about Bub's favorite goodies. We did it at Apple Festival time. Bub's going to tell you what the
Only
things...
mine.
Huh?
Only mine.
Only Bub's.
It only says Bubs. It doesn't say Browns or Eric's. It just says Bubs, so it's only mine. You guys don't have no say in this.
Well, that's because you probably are not aware of my Thanksgiving plate. So we're going to have you talk about your own. That good with you, Bub?
Nah, I mean, you guys can throw in yours too. I was just saying.
Cool. Moving right along. Bub, thank you for your wonderful input as always. Then, following the Thanksgiving plate with a full belly, you're going straight to Black Friday, Brown.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some of the best video games ever.
Yeah,
The video games worth standing in line for.
absolutely.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And then, Brown, we're leaving the video game scene. We're bringing it back to reality, and you're going to be talking about some of your NBA Heat Check teams,
Yep.
players, and all things basketball.
Yep. I can't wait, man. There's a lot of kind of interesting things going on, Yeah, Bart Scott can't wait. A lot of interesting things going on.
Fulfilling the roles of our senior basketball guy, and as
Yeah.
always, a smile on his face because he is just
Happy to be here.
there. We go, and we've got Ohio State, Michigan this weekend, bud, in the big house. I maybe saw enough to change some thoughts that I had last week about the big game. So we're going to be talking about that, and then of course wrapping up with our 7-4 shout out. So Bub, let's get right into it here, man. A Turkey Bowl recap. We're going to have a separate video on this entire extravaganza this morning. But first, I want you to give your thoughts about the Turkey Bowl today. Go.
I made a fool out of myself,
A little bit.
but I did end up victorious.
You did.
Pretty big landslide victory.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think you performed well,
Above average.
above average, which is as good as you could have hoped for, I think, right?
Yeah.
Bubba versus three tiny humans here. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, the Turkey Bowl was pretty much 3v1. Bub himself, Uncle Bub, taking on the three tiny humans that I've got for him
Yeah.
that can walk and function and even run and catch footballs.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Uncle Bub performed individually against the kids.
And your wife. Oh
I
man,
don't like
that's
the way
bad
that
saying.
sounds. Don't like the way that sounds.
But like your wife was
Yep.
the quarterback when we did the 3-on. Was that? Yeah, that was. No, the 1-on-ones. Not the 3-on-ones. You were the quarterback on the 3-on.
Yikes. Anyway, we also got to see a wonderful performance from my wife, who was the quarterback during the one-on-one session of the Turkey Bowl extravaganza. And then we got to see Uncle Bub, one man, just one man, Jonathan Moxon, Bub.
Yeah, one man, one band, one sound,
Yes, absolutely. And we
Drumline reference,
I was talking.
You had Kanye. Yeah, you
You
had.
literally couldn't even keep it in the same movie.
But it's the same theme. Like they're
Theme.
playing band during
Yes,
the football
theme.
games.
Slytherin
It's just
TV
the-
theme.
It's just a band during a football game. At the end of the day, it's the end of the day.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, Bub, one man, eventually took on 3 tiny humans, and Bub, I was your all-time quarterback as well as theirs,
Yeah,
and that was fun.
you tried to sell me.
Tried to sell you. What's that mean?
Like you tried to give away the game to the kids.
Tried to give away the game
Underthrowing
to the
balls.
kids. Underthrowing balls.
Wow.
I was performing every bit as
Didn't
well
be an
as the
investigation.
Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. And I, by the way, am as useful right now, if not a little more than Joe Burrow.
I mean, you can hold a ball.
I can hold and even throw it
Yeah,
to
so
some degree.
You're more capable as a most.
Well, it's funny because the other night we were at home. I was watching Thursday Night Football, and Kendall was upstairs. She says, "Hey, can you bring me my drink?" I said, "Sure, no problem." So I brought her drink upstairs, and I said, "Hey, I got bad news for you." She's like, "Oh, okay, what's that?" Well, Joe Burrow's hurt. She couldn't have cared less. I was heartbroken. So she kind of looks at me and goes, "Oh, okay." I was like, "No, you don't understand. He's like hurt, like for the first time in 10 years of watching this kid play football. He cannot throw a football. That's
Yeah.
bad. Like, that's bad." And I said, to put it into perspective, I am as useful, if not more useful, to the Cincinnati Bengals than Joe Burrow right now. Her reaction, yikes. So I watched the rest of the game from downstairs and just minded my own business stuff.
Just watched it on your phone.
So yeah, I mean, we didn't watch it together at that point. I just didn't think that I got bullied.
Yeah.
It was tough. But it happens. It happens. But in all reality, though, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Not real fun at all, Bob.
No, it sucks. But you know, at least we get to watch Jake Browning.
Yeah, we didn't hear
At
from you. and
least
I
we
was-
get to watch Jake Browning.
Yeah,
That is
you're not
the
gonna
most
hear from me about
optimistic
it.
thing I've ever heard.
Can it be the
anybody
title of
say.
this?
Yes.
Trust me, I'm being very sarcastic. He is ass.
Seemed sincere, didn't it? Seem
It
sincere.
did, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Seems sincere.
I
Obviously.
went to sleep at halftime because I didn't want to watch a half of Jake Browning.
I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah. I'm sorry that you feel that way, Bob. I thought he, held his own, even got a tuggy in the second half. The stars weren't aligned for them to win that game after that injury, and even before it was going to be a tough one. So no fun there. But some of the injuries we've been seeing, right? Joey B, Deshaun, Mark Andrews left the game. He's going to be done for the year. Got the gears spinning, right? About some of the injuries over the years. That we've had, and ultimately we've been pretty lucky, man. Like no real significant, huge sideline injuries. But what are some of the most significant injuries that you guys have fought through, Bub? Let's go ahead and we'll start with you, man.
I had like a hairline fracture in my foot in 7th grade. That was like a
That's
2-week
really it.
injury.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about that.
yeah.
And I mean, we played Portsmouth the first week. They were whooping our ass regardless.
Ah, there it
That's
is.
the second
Bub,
one.
That's the second one.
Catch the
You
first
snuck in the
one.
first one,
I
yeah.
can't let that happen.
Well,
what
I'm
are
seeing
you
if you were
doing?
gonna
I
catch
got
it.
it.
No, I just have to raise your
Hey!
ears. You have to raise your ears to make sure stuff like this doesn't
Listen,
happen.
I'm not Wimby. I don't block everything. So
I need you to at least participate. I don't need to block everything. You caught the pass.
I did catch
Yeah,
it.
you caught that he said that.
I mean, I figured
Oh my gosh.
holiday time.
Oh my
Give a little bit more
gosh.
lenience to the guy.
Lenience.
You've
You
never
know that
dinosaur-
you give Bubba an inch, he's going to take 7 miles.
You've never dinosaur ran in a Walmart with this man, so you don't know.
It's true, yeah.
No, but we have in the back seat of a Saturday Ion had an absolute time. Brown, do you recall the time that we got pulled over
Absolutely, yeah.
in the back of your car
Because
on
Eric
Route
was beaming
93?
balls at the back of your head.
This is such a fun story,
Yeah.
man. We were
Yeah, of course I remember that.
well, the plot was to
My bottle.
the plot was to take these balls, these like playpen balls, right, to friend's house, right, dump them in their car, like while they were inside the house. right?
Amazing prank.
A great idea in theory. Unfortunately, our friends are not mature enough, Bub, to let that happen. Did you know that? So, what happened is Austin Osborne ends up joining the party.
Yeah.
So we're in the car. Brown's driving. Bub's in the passenger seat. Bub.
Yeah,
You're in
well,
the
always.
passenger seat. Bub, heavy guy, big guy at the time. Austin Osborne and I in the back seat. These balls, I think there's 250 of them in the box.
It seemed like more.
Osborne or myself one rip open to this box. You remember all of this? Yeah. So we rip open the box. We're throwing them around in the car at each other, driving. Don't drive distracted. But we were having a ball. So
That's a good pun.
thank you. So having a time, and we eventually get pulled over because Brown tells me if I get hit with one more ball, I'm stopping this car.
I sure did. I sure
So
did.
I
stop
grabbed the
car.
ball. I'm in the back seat. I mean, your face is here. Your head's right here.
Yeah.
And I threw this ball as hard as I could. Hit you in the head. You slammed on the brakes. Next thing we know, blue and red lights.
Yep.
We get pulled over. There's 250 balls loose in the car. Osborne shows himself and really explains himself out of that situation. Missing ID, unable to tell his social security.
Yeah.
Telling the cop that his mom thinks it's embarrassing.
Yeah, he tells us, the officer asks, do you have your license? He says, no, officer, I don't have my license. And, he was like, okay, well, do you at least know your social security number? Yeah, I don't know that either, officer.
Be honest,
And,
mom
and
thinks
my
it's
mom,
kind of
and he kind of
embarrassing.
looks at Osborne, even the cop's like, kind of giving him this, and Osborne's like, yeah, even my mom thinks that's pretty embarrassing. So the guy runs the plates, runs the tag. You remember this is
Yeah, oh,
crazy.
yeah.
And eventually he comes back. He's like, "You guys are good, but
Yeah.
just remember I was a kid once too, or whatever." He
That's
said.
what
He
he
gave us
said.
the
I mean, we did nothing wrong, but have 250 plastic balls in the back of my car.
and slam on the brakes in
In
the middle of
front.
'93.
Yeah, but nobody's on the road. I mean,
The
you know,
cops were.
I pay my taxes.
I remember the day Brown got.
You paid that. You
That
paid
is
your
such
ticket
a
too.
that is such a
Oh,
Bretton Brown thing to say.
I pay my taxes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I could use a robot.
You
how I
also
want.
pay
Right?
your tickets too, don't you, Brown?
Sure do.
Yeah, on the way.
Yeah.
On the way
Sure
to a golf outing.
It's 70 now through there.
It gets 70 out.
You were
there.
just.
I think I might have made-
It was still,
I was-
you were still going like.
I think I was a part of that movement to
Yeah.
70.
Yeah. What a time that
Still
was.
would have been 15 over.
Still
you
would've
know.
15 over. There goes where it is.
He found a
Who's
pair of
counting?
Ray-Bans though.
Who's counting? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
He pulled
awesome.
out.
Yeah, that was a good day too.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Anyway, though, getting back to some of these injuries. Gosh, we got a little bit off topic there, boys and girls.
Yeah.
We're back.
Just a smidge.
We're back. Back to some of these injuries, Bub. Obviously, the hairline fracture.
Yeah, that was it.
That was a tough one. One of my favorite injuries, I guess, of yours, if I can say that, was the bubble.
Oh yeah, my leg.
The leg of all
yeah,
the fluid.
That
was
is
on.
now just like hard pieces like this on my knee.
Yeah, just calcium buildups or something. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, that was a weird one
Yeah,
for you.
it was so fun.
The best time though was when Bub experienced a boob cramp for the first time after a
Ooh.
football game.
Yeah.
That was a good one on the couch.
Yeah, and both legs at the same time.
Oh my god.
Both legs at the
Ooh.
same time, Vince McMahon style. Bub has
One and only
cramps.
cramp I've had in my legs.
Same, me too. I had like one really bad one running down the court, get hit with it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just run it off. Go to take another step, and I go down. I'm like,
Feels like
oh my
Forrest
God.
Gump running through Vietnam.
Yeah,
That's tough.
it's crazy, man.
That's tough. That's tough. Bub's been lucky. I think you've been pretty lucky too, though, in the injury.
Yeah, very
in the
lucky.
injury
Well, when you only
category.
block as a wide receiver.
Well, I mean, Brown's played basketball
Yeah,
I
for
just had to throw that
25
shade on you.
years.
You've got a lot of rolled ankles though.
a lot of
ankles.
really bad
It's
ankle
because you've been
rolls.
wearing those D Rose shoes your whole life.
That's tough.
I love you, Derek.
It's
That's
Are
terrible.
you guys are on a first name basis?
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
you,
we are.
Derek.
Love you, Derek.
Love
Rose
you,
is my guy.
Sounds like a Zoolander quote.
Doesn't it?
But you've been hurt a lot, so
Yeah, you- yeah,
you've,
it's-
I've
is
been
your
hurt a lot. I
wheelhouse.
mean, I don't.
you had a concussion in like 9th grade. You tore your cornea.
That wasn't. I mean, it was an injury, but you're just a jerk. Yeah, that was from the water hose. Yeah, from this far away. From
Yeah.
and ripped the cornea of my eyebrow. Ripped it.
You had to
I
wear
mean,
an eye
you know,
patch to school.
It's got some pressure to it, Could
You had to
mess
wear-
up
you
some
had to wear
things,
an eye
but-
patch to school.
Eye patch wasn't fun, dude. You like a little me who was kind of a jerk anyway, like wearing an eye patch to
Yeah.
school. Like I was just bait for lions at that point. It was like, oh okay, pirate Eric over here.
Eric, how do you spell your name? E-R.
Yeah, ERIC. It was terrible. It was a horrible time. And the worst part was the eye drops because like I didn't want, and I still don't like eye drops. I hate them to this day.
Mhm.
But I would hide them from mom,
Mm.
and I eventually like the part of the stove that like supposed to store. I don't know if it stores pots and pans or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's supposed to do, but that's what it does in our ratchet house. So I
That's
used to
what we
like
did too.
hide them. I would hide them in there, and
Yeah.
one day she found them. Like
Oh my
I'm
God.
telling you, within the first 2 hours of me hiding them there, she found them in there. And I was like, what parent? I would never think to look in there
Yeah.
to this day as a parent. So my mom's an OG.
Moms know where
That was a
everything's at.
horrible experience. Though thought for sure I was never going to see again. So definitely, you bringing that up makes you getting hit in the face with that baseball bat by our neighbor worth it. So
Or
thank
in,
you for
in
that.
the nose with a hat.
Dude, in the nose with the hat. That was
Making
a
your
tough
nose
one.
bleed.
When your nose blood at your birthday party and you almost popped me.
I'd never seen a softer nose. But anyways.
Dude, I remember the freaking rubber dog chew toy to the
Oh.
marbles.
That one hit my marbles there.
Dude, it was like the most. Every time he brings up me not being accurate, now I bring that story up. I had like this rubber
It
dog
makes me
toy.
want to give you a 12-6 elbow.
Dude,
Okay.
I threw this dog toy. Vroom. And like when it left my hand, I was like, I'm
You
pretty
knew it.
confident that this
Yeah.
ball, this is going right.
And it's
in
just
the toy.
thick rubber,
Dude.
man. Like, it's solid rubber.
Dude, so I threw a Volkswagen tire at Bubba's marbles, as he so describes them, and yeah, Bub gets hit. It was over. I was like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do this. Yes, you effing did.
I mean, you don't just mean to not throw it. Like,
But
what?
like, I was also
You didn't mean the accuracy.
Yeah, well,
right?
that-
12 feet away. I mean, I did, but I didn't think it would actually happen. Of
So
course,
you did
once
mean
I-
it.
So
Like,
you did
there's,
mean it,
there's
yeah.
no denying it. There
Right,
was,
but
there
you
was
were
no
bigger
reason.
than me in pain. What was I supposed to say? So yeah, that was a tough one for you. The finger was tough. The pinky was no fun. The like leg, ankle thing sucked. The
Contusion.
broken foot was no fun. That thigh contusion was rough. You remember when the bruising came out? That was a tough one. Yeah, I think that's really it. The thumb, whatever I did in that in Florida, that was a rough one. Other than that, though, nothing
Yeah, I've
too
just
major.
always been the one to take care of myself out of us.
Yeah, well, you weren't getting 40 carries in semi-pro. Trust me, I wish I wasn't dealing with all that crap either. 41 carries and 38 carries, I think, were my
That's
highs
insane.
in semi-pro. 41 carries, this is the toughest one.
Did you guys pass the ball?
We did. The only
3
touchdown
times.
we had was a swing out of the backfield to Cornelius English that night. But
Who did
I
you guys have? Jake Browning throw the ball?
it was Eric Landrum. Is even worse.
Oh, well,
It was
yeah,
even
I
worse.
guess so.
We definitely didn't have the quarterback, and we didn't really have the offense to do it.
Yeah.
But we could flat out run it, except against this team, because we were playing the Mid Ohio Valley Falcons. They had more players who played college than we had played high school football.
Wow.
So we beat them twice that year. I had
That's
30, I
impressive.
had 38 carries the first time against them for like 114 yards. I had 41 the next time for like 102. Absolute murder, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, between the tackles, dude. Like I didn't run it. I wasn't quick enough to get the edge. It was boom, 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 boom. It was murder. So that was tough. But Cornelius caught her only pass out of the backfield, swing pass, and then ran to the house. So he got her touchdown that game. But what a time. That was no fun. I think that's why I was banged up all the time, though, if I had to guess. But anyway,
lot of volume.
back to reality. A lot of volume. Not much in the outcome. Probably.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we're going to move it right along.
Alrighty.
We're getting off the injury list.
And then more
I want
injuries.
to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
Food. Today, we, as the Landrum clan, celebrated Thanksgiving as we do early because Mom works a lot. Mom still putting in about 70 hours a week. Shout out, Mom. Don't know how you do it. She's crazy, but she's still putting in a ton of hours. She's going to work on Thanksgiving, so we had Thanksgiving here today, and it was freaking awesome, Bub. What'd your plate look like, Bub? We gotta know.
So you want my top 5?
I mean, I just want what your plate looks like. I don't care how
I
many
mean,
ingredients we're on.
The top 5 is what's on my plate.
Give me your top 5. Bub, go.
I'm gonna have a ham and cheese sandwich.
Okay. That's making
Oh,
that's
yes. Brown, come
so-
on, you know that's a staple.
so the
in
ham-
diet.
I just wasn't expecting it right off the bat.
another ham and cheese
Yeah.
sandwich.
Okay.
And that's going to be kind of your entree, right? Like your
Yeah,
main,
yeah.
your
And then the
main
side
item.
dishes I want some baked macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
All right, that's a good portion of the. If you're looking at one of those styrofoam, plates that are divided up into 5 sections, the ham and cheese goes in the big section right here, right? So then you put the mac and cheese right here.
Right.
And if I could find good chicken seasoning, I would get deviled eggs. I didn't have good chicken seasoning.
Of course
So
not.
what I did is I had the sweet potatoes with
Right.
the marshmallows
Makes sense.
molded on top of it, and then actually there were some pecans on them this time.
Oh, pecans.
Amazing.
Great.
Give it a nice little texture.
Crunchy, crunchy.
And then stuffing. And a lot of stuffing.
Right.
Like you can't go wrong with stuffing.
Well, of course. How could you?
Yeah. So I mean, stuffing has like a nice big old square. It's that big square.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
patch of stuffing,
Like I want like a square. Yeah. Like I want you to cut it up like a
like a
bread.
piece of cake.
Yeah.
And you want
Exactly.
a slice of stuffing.
Exactly. And if
Okay,
you want to double
slice of
layer it,
stuffing,
that's
yeah.
fine.
All right.
All right. And then I'm gonna go with a dessert.
I feel like he's needing like 10.
Yeah, I know. I was
No,
trying to
it's
keep
been
up.
4 things.
I'm trying to follow
And this is
the.
the dessert as number 5.
I'm trying to follow the plate thing, and he just keeps
Give
doing
me
like
some
this,
strawberry
and I just lost
rhubarb
track.
pie.
His Bubba's plate is a Rubik's cube.
Yeah, he has done this a
Bubba's
lot.
like,
Yeah.
No, it's one big rectangle, and then it's got some little
done
rectangles
this.
and squares on top.
Some what?
Little rectangles and squares on top.
Okay. Anyway.
But
that
yeah,
brings it
ham
to
and
you.
cheese, mac and cheese, sweet potato with marshmallows. Shit.
Stuffing, mashed potatoes,
Stuffing,
yeah.
and then
Good job,
and then
Brad.
the strawberry
Yeah.
rhubarb
Hey,
pie.
keep an eye on those cuss words the same way, would you?
I said shoot.
He said she.
No, I'm just saying he's very attentive to your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
but
help
that's
me out
what
with
I
the cuss
thought. I mean,
words.
I would
As
think
well.
to make a better plate than that.
Okay, well, hey, yeah. I mean, I'm a ham guy, so I like ham. I like turkey. I rock with the mac and cheese as well. I got mashed potatoes and the gravy as well. Every year, gravy, hot commodity for me.
Yeah.
One year we didn't do gravy.
You were about to throw a fit because you didn't
I
find it
didn't.
today.
I was upset.
I
but
found it for you, don't
Thank
worry.
you. Hey, appreciate you, bub. Thank you for
They
what
put
you
it in a butter bowl. Put it in
Of
a
course,
butter
I
bowl.
missed it. Yeah, because it was in the butter container.
Yeah. It's
That's
so-
The
yeah.
gravy?
Like Country
How could I
Crock,
have
the tan
possibly
container.
overlooked it? Yeah, like the Save-A-Lot brand.
like the
right?
good butter that spreads.
Huh. But it's, yeah, okay. All right.
That's what my mother put it in after it was prepared.
Okay.
Because
So
like, it
Bubba
was
makes
clean. It was a
fun of
clean
me.
butter bowl.
Yeah.
It was been washed.
This has gone
and
on way too long.
reused.
It has, yeah.
So, anyway, and then of course I snack on all of the treats and desserts.
Yeah.
when the day goes on.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Brown, what do you
All right.
think?
give me-
So in no order, you
Yeah.
got to put turkey on there.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You do. Mashed potatoes,
Okay.
deviled eggs, stuffing, and then I'm gonna have to go.
Do you get a slice of stuff?
No mac and
a
cheese.
brick.
A
Mac
brick?
and cheese was up there,
Beanie-
but
Linda's beanie
It's
weenies.
okay, yeah.
You gotta get some.
but I have to say 5 would be my aunt's fruit pizza. It is
Does that have a kiwi and everything in it?
yes,
Ew.
it is amazing. You can pick it.
I'm
out.
just messing with you. No,
I
you're
love
just
it.
not
Fruit
as
fruit
good.
pizza with just like strawberries on it. Like, what do you mean?
Dude, honestly, your aunt's fruit pizza now. I'm good, man. I'm just kidding.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm always down to try some fruit pizza. Bring it to me. I'll tell you if it's any good.
It's
or not,
amazing.
Brown. Okay, bring
I
it
would love to
Brown.
bring it to you. It's just gone by the
Your
time I get
mother-in-law's
it.
brownies,
You
though.
have no control.
Those are fantastic. Yeah, I have no
Cheers.
control over myself. I'm saying I take it home and then I eat it before I could even think about giving
When
it
I
to
said you have
somebody
no
else.
control, that is exactly what I meant.
Oh, I thought
I
you
didn't
meant
need
no
an
control.
explanation.
I thought you meant no control over the leftovers I was getting.
Nope. I meant
Gotcha.
exactly that. Yeah,
Okay.
we're on the same page, buddy.
Gotcha.
Thanks for
All
that.
right.
So, Bob, immediately following a full belly on Thanksgiving,
2 full bellies. I had
2
2 plates.
full bellies, is often the Black Friday extravaganza. And this got my gears going, Bub. Of course, we like to participate in Black Friday.
Yeah, that's where you get the best deals.
That's where you get the best deals. And got me thinking, what are some of the best video games that are worth standing in line for, would have been worth standing in line for on Black Friday?
Go ahead, Brown.
Brown.
I'm gonna say NBA Jam,
NBA Jam.
NBA, and NFL Street
Oh, okay.
for sure.
Those were good ones.
Those were-
And then like the Gears of War that we stood in line for. Halo.
Yeah, I think
Wait, you
the
guys
Gears
did-
of
wait,
War
hang on.
ended up not being worth it just because
Well,
like,
I guess I'm talking about in like the series in totality.
yeah, no, Gears of War 2 was a great game,
Yeah.
even though it was probably one of the worst like scripted games.
Yeah. Well.
But it was also a great game because that's just the way they were back
Yeah.
then.
You guys actually stood in line for a game?
Very competitive.
Yeah, and
yeah, we
Athens.
competed.
I didn't know that.
we
Okay,
competed in a tournament for
Me
whoever
and Tyler.
won the free copy.
Yeah, I didn't really play the game other than borrowing his one time for like 2 weeks and then he took it back.
All right.
Still hold that grudge. It's not in Roller Coaster Tycoon, man.
That's a good game.
Yeah, I forgot
Which
about
every
that.
time I look
That's
at
a
it, it's
good
just
game.
I don't play it, so. But no, me, him, and Williams stood out in line and everything, and I think Brown, you won it, didn't you? Did you
No,
win
I
that
didn't win
tournament?
it. I didn't win that.
I thought you
I
did.
think I did.
Did Williams win it?
He might have.
I think.
I thought
Williams
one of
might
us
have
got a
won.
free
Yeah,
copy. I
think-
know I did.
I think.
But,
Well, you know, Williams probably mooshed it somehow.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
I know
it's
I
about
didn't. I was
free.
bouncing like the first round against some like 5-year-old. That wasn't my game.
This is what happens when I bring up video games around two gamer nerds.
Yeah.
But no, for me, it's got to
That's
be Halo
awesome.
3. I mean, that's the game.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2. I know I stood in line with somebody. I think it was Fatty at the time.
Ooh.
That was a great game release and everything. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the peak of games.
Yeah, for sure. And then NCAA. Basketball and football.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
basketball
those
I feel
were-
like gets lost behind football as it should. Football is amazing.
Those
but-
were two great series, though. Like
Yeah.
I can't wait until they bring back college football next summer. That's going to be insane.
That's going to be awesome. One of my favorite video games was E ESPN 2K5.
No, that was a great football game.
That was an incredible.
Having your own
football game.
crib.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played it that
Having your
much.
own crib. Oh my gosh. It was
Terrell Owens on the cover.
Yeah, I remember him being on the cover.
Yeah. Introduction to Carmen Electra.
Uh-huh.
That was incredible.
You remember two other
That was
people?
awesome.
I remember two other people. I remember
Uh,
Steve-O
Steve-O, I vaguely remember.
and David Arquette.
Yes. I vaguely remember David Arquette.
And the
as well.
football table, man, the flag or the
The
paper
foos-
football
yeah,
table. Oh
yeah,
my
the
God,
paper
you could
football
play
table.
that on the game.
Really?
You could play
It
paper
was
football in the
awesome.
game,
I would
dude.
just
Just
sit there
get
and play
lost in
paper
it.
football
It
in the
was
game
as fun
against
as
the
It
computer.
was as fun as the game
Like,
itself.
it makes me
was
wonder,
insane.
like, why can't games be original like that? You know what I mean?
It
Like,
makes no sense to
nowadays it's not. It's just copy paste.
It is.
And,
then
let's just get out the new game.
microtransaction the hell out
Yeah.
of them.
Yep. Just get out the new game
Yeah.
and then worry about
Right.
the next game to get out.
Right.
And then just there's no creativity in it anymore.
There's
and it's
whatsoever.
a shame.
None whatsoever. Yeah.
But
And
they make their money regardless.
They do, yeah.
They do. Obviously, I'm super excited about the NCAA football game coming back out.
Oh yeah.
That will be a lot of fun.
Ape Escape.
Hmm?
Remember Ape Escape?
I don't remember wanting to stay in
Oh.
line for it, but
Need for Speed Carbon would be
Need
up
for
there.
Speed
That
Carbon.
That's a good
That
that's a good
was
non-sport
probably
game.
the
Yeah.
best racing or
I
NASCAR
agree, yeah.
98, but
that was a good one.
Bobby Labonte.
The Rugrats
Everybody
game.
hated Jeff Gordon.
The Rugrats game on PlayStation was awesome.
Yeah, going around that maze with that goose chasing you. Mm-mm.
That's like Bubba's worst
Like
nightmare.
PTSD for you.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, that was
I was
awesome.
like, get the heck away from me. And then I lived it at Yaktanji one time.
Yeah.
He hissed at me.
Bub was there for like a science fair, not a science
Leaf
fair, but a
project.
leaf project. And he came home all hot and bothered because a duck or a goose had
Hissed at me.
hissed at him when he went to feed it. Or
I didn't know they
or
hissed.
something.
Mm.
Bubba,
I learned
very,
that day they hissed.
very naive to geese.
Yeah.
at the time.
Well,
He was not a big fan of them.
He was pissed at hissed.
okay.
He was not happy.
I'm sorry.
But hey, it do be that way sometimes, Bob. Brown,
Yes.
getting out of the video game realm and back into reality here. I know we're excited to talk a little bit of NBA basketball, and of course, as our senior basketball person,
Senior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier to have you here to do this today. So thank you for being here with us. I know that you're just
Happy to be here.
absolutely as always. So let's get right into it, Brown. The NBA Heat check. Who are some of the teams and players right now that are just as hot as can be in the NBA, man?
Well, I'm looking at the standings over here. Timberwolves are first.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. to
Tied
me.
for first.
In the West.
With the Nuggets. That team, obviously standing out to me as they're playing amazing basketball, and it's mainly because of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's dominant. man.
incredible. Rudy Gobert is back to his kind of defensive player of the year status when
Yeah.
it comes to being on that side of the ball.
Right.
They've been fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
It's great. And on the other side of that, I would have to go with the Clippers being kind of disappointing. Wondering, when are they going to start gelling together? And kind of making it work with having 4 guys that are dominant with
Right.
the ball.
Right.
How do you make it work? I don't know. I mean,
Right.
3 guys, you seem like it's
So,
just too hard to do.
Let me
that,
ask you
so.
this. Let me ask you this, not to interrupt you, but can they make it work, man? Because the Clippers seem to be really struggling finding any sort of fluidity or continuity right
Yeah.
now. Can they make it work with James Harden?
I don't know. I don't. It doesn't seem like they're going to.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it
I think
at all.
I think a lot of it comes down to personality, and it depends on if the guys are going to want to buy in on certain changes. Because I feel like they're going to need to stagger some minutes at
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
you're going to have 2 guys, maybe 3, on the court at the same time, and then that 4th guy kind of have him starting right out with the second tier guys, and then slowly, switching it out like that. I feel like that's
Right.
probably their best bet.
Yeah.
But it's going to be between either James or Westbrook. Who's going to want to accept that role? Because none of them will want to do that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it seems like Russ is a little more willing to come off the bench and do those things that
Yeah, that's
need
good.
to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's later in his career, and yeah, you're right, Bub. Quite frankly, I think he is going to have to learn to accept those
Big
roles.
energy guy. I
And-
mean,
and-
he would fit great with that.
Absolutely, and I think Russ is there for the right reasons. I think Russ wants a ring first and foremost. I think that's the only reason the guy's playing the game at this
Yeah.
point in his career. He plays at a high level still.
Yeah, I'm a little wary of that because, I've already seen a video of, late in game. I think it was like less than 2 minutes, and it was Harden subbing in for Westbrook in that kind of clutch time.
Right.
And Westbrook, of course, not being receptive to it. So
Sure.
it's
Well,
going to be if the guys can buy in or not.
Did it
I
happen
think
to be
it
did it happen to be the game
So-
that Harden sealed?
I
the
don't remember
buzzer,
exactly what
close to
game.
the
It's been a
buzzer?
few days ago, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Clippers are definitely a team that intrigue a lot of people. I would think, and the fact that the Timberwolves are right there with the Nuggets is probably
Yeah.
the biggest surprise in the NBA. I would think that was a team last year a lot of people felt would take a step. Got to playoff time, didn't necessarily take that leap, and I think Anthony Edwards had a great offseason with Team USA.
Yeah.
I think that he really took that as a leap forward, and we're seeing that this year. So he's playing lights out, man.
yeah.
Um,
and obviously, Jokic, I mean,
Right.
on an MVP run, again, should have won it last year. But
Sure, I
whatever.
agree.
Fatigue,
Um,
voter fatigue.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's a
it
real
definitely
thing.
is that. And I think Embiid's camp of, complaining constantly the last 2 years about, hey, this guy should be the MVP, and in actuality, Jokic is just that much better of a player. And
Jokic is the greatest player in the world,
Yep.
and it's not
No
close.
question.
And it's not close. He can play basketball at so many levels, in so many different ways, and excel. So it's not a question. It's not close to me. In the East, Brown, what are we thinking? What's the East shaping up? Who are you liking in the East as the team? And who are you liking in the East? I mean, who stood out to you in the East as a dog?
So the team I like, obviously, is the Celtics. I predicted Celtics Nuggets finals.
Sure.
Currently 10-2, amazing. And then the team that I don't like or that I'm disappointed in, I'm a Bulls fan. I'll touch on the Bulls. They're very disappointing.
Sure.
They're a team that has a lot of really solid B players,
Right.
but nothing of an A to an A plus type of guy that can say, you know what, give me the ball. I'm going to make a difference offensively and defensively.
Sure.
We don't have that, but we have guys that are Levine can score, DeRozan can score, and Caruso's an amazing piece. I love Caruso. I hope they don't trade him. They need to trade him though because he's worth a lot. I hope they don't trade him. But as a guy that sees the bigger picture, I like him as a player. But as a guy that wants better for the organization, they need to trade him because he is a huge asset.
Yeah.
So, and then also the other thing I want to touch on, 76ers right now, they're second in the East.
Yeah.
No James Harden. They got rid of James.
No.
Who stepped in? Tyrese Maxey. He's been incredible.
He stepped
it's
up big
Tyrese, it's Joel.
Yeah.
They've been great. The locker room is probably 10 times better
Yeah.
because they got rid of the Harden
Sure.
bull crap.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see
he's
how
just-
that's turned out for the West with the Sixers or the Clippers. So I mean, it's been a win for them.
Yeah, Tyrese has definitely taken that step forward. I think the Celtics are playing great basketball as well. Kristaps Porzingis has been an impact for the Celtics, man. I mean, he came into Boston. A lot of people thought he was kind of, come and gone in his career, just going to, give them some minutes, maybe fulfill a starting role, but maybe have an impact. But man, he's playing great basketball, man.
I actually had high hopes for them because he did play well in Washington.
Yeah.
It was just his main thing is injuries.
Yeah.
Is he going to stay healthy? If he is,
Right.
great. They're going to be fantastic because they have an amazing core group of guys.
Yeah.
They have the veteran leadership that they need in Al Horford. Like, they're just super thin at big man. So if
Right.
one of those, Al gets hurt, which he's like 36, and, could happen.
Yeah.
Kristaps is injury prone. If they get hurt, that's going to be a problem. If not, they're going to be incredible. I
Right.
mean, so, Porzingis has been everything that they've needed and more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting, man. Definitely been interesting. Personally, I love. I'm gonna switch back to the West here. I love seeing LeBron, man, in year 21.
Yeah.
Doing it. 38 years old, man. Getting
And
it
he's
done.
still the main guy.
He's still
We've
that
been
guy.
saying it for like 2 years now.
He needs to
hey,
pass the
Anthony
torch to
Davis.
AD,
Anthony
yeah.
Davis needs to be stepping up. Anthony Davis needs to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And he'll have a couple of those games.
Of course.
But there's also been a couple games that I've watched this year where it's been 18 points the first half, the second half 0.
No,
So
Consistent.
you're not going to have great play and be able to go on his coattails.
Right.
He's going to be doing that.
Right.
He's too good of a player.
Well, what's crazy with me is the leash for AD throughout his career has been so unbelievably long, right? Any other player gets murdered for this inconsistency. Maybe his impact is so greatly felt that, he is so good in the right moments, but
He is.
I would have thought, that maybe if that's the case, then why are we getting swept by Denver and why is Jokic being the biggest reason, right? Like, swept if you're a Lakers fan, that got swept by Denver. So Greg Jokic is exactly that, the greatest player in the world. The Nuggets are a much more ready to win basketball team. There's no question about that. But AD getting outperformed 4 straight nights. If you're that guy, you got to turn it on, at least get your team a win.
You do. I think he really tries to pick and choose, and he's being very passive with picking the games he wants to be
Yeah.
present
Right.
in. And I mean, the long leash thing, like, you're exactly right. It's where he's had those incredible games. That's why he gets the long leash.
He's the one
And
golf shot that keeps you going back to the course.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a good,
he
that's
has,
a good
I mean,
reference.
before the Nuggets series, he had great games leading up in the playoffs, great games in the series. Well,
Right.
not in the series before that, which was like, AD, best two-way guy and this and that, which he can be. But
Yeah.
he doesn't display
It's
that
just
every day.
mindset, though. And
It
that's
is
what,
some of it
and
is
that's
definitely
what,
mindset.
That's what
for
that's what separates, the guys that are notoriously the greatest to ever do it versus arguably the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
So you talked about AD picking and choosing games he shows up in. Let's pick and choose a game right now. We got this Saturday, Ohio State, Michigan, Big House,
The game.
the game.
Game.
What a time! It's going to be noon start.
Hardball coaching.
Harbaugh off
I didn't
the
figure.
field. He won't be present at all. So I have watched Michigan the last 2 weeks. I have watched Ohio State the last 2 weeks. I talked a little bit about this game last week on the podcast. I want an opportunity to talk here for just a moment here, boys.
Go ahead.
I like what I'm seeing from Ohio State.
Oh, up, let him cook.
I was a little tough on Ohio State last week. I thought maybe, not tough, but I thought Ryan Day really going to have to coach his greatest game to beat Michigan. I feel significantly different after watching Michigan play
Maryland.
yesterday against Rutgers, or Maryland,
Yeah.
Maryland. They can't get it done at the quarterback spot, man. They really
They should
can't.
have had that game closed out in the first half.
They should.
It was 16-7. Michigan forced a fumble in the end zone.
Well, the fact
On a
that
punt.
Maryland's able to come down the field after you score what should have been a pretty imposing touchdown to make it a 3-score game, or a 2-score game at the time maybe, and Maryland comes right back down the field, marches, and I think 8 plays, gets a touchdown. Like, whoa, hang on here, you're letting Maryland hang with you. That got me there. So, didn't love what I saw from Michigan. I was hard on Ohio State last week, really was. I like Ohio State in this game against Michigan, Bub. Going into Michigan, getting the win in the Big House.
I know after the Michigan game, I believe Ohio State was -5.5 or +5.5 underdogs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that changed after the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
But I think Ohio State is peaking a lot better than what Michigan is right now.
I agree.
I think Michigan's got a lot of injuries on their offensive line
I
from
agree.
their game against Maryland.
Right.
And that was their one big kind of strength is their age of their offensive line and how many years they've gotten to gel together and work together. So I think whenever you throw a few wrenches in there, that's going to cause some problems.
Yeah.
Ohio State's defense has been holding up all year.
Yeah.
It's the last 3 years, it's been a big question mark. It looks really good this year. So
Yeah.
I think going into it, you got to kind of watch McCord and see See if he takes that step up.
Yeah. So what are you expecting out of Ohio State then, Bub? You have a prediction on this one? You have a score on this one?
I'm
You have
gonna
a
give
winner in
it.
this
I'm
one
gonna
even?
say it's gonna be 27-24 Ohio State.
Brown, what are we looking at? Let's look
Michigan
at
is
some
minus
odds.
4.
Michigan minus
It's
4.
dropped.
Okay, it has gone down. I really like Ohio State in that game.
I do
like
too.
those
I mean,
odds.
I am
after,
playing a little
after this
recency
weekend.
bias,
After
but-
this weekend, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
You got
towards
to
your-
college football.
Towards your peak,
this time of year, I think you have to a
Yeah.
little bit. I agree.
and towards your peak thing, I mean, it is true. Like the
Yeah.
teams are peaking at
Yeah.
different levels right
Well-
now, and the Michigan thing is a distraction. I think it is affecting some of it. I
That's
don't
exactly
think
what
it's
it is.
How
It's a
much of it is
distraction.
distraction though, and how much of it is reality too? Because look at AJ McCarthy, right? He didn't throw a pass in the second half of last week's game. He didn't play particularly well this week against the Maryland team that I think that they were 17.5-point favorites against.
Oh yeah.
So you really stop and look at this whole picture and go, whoa, maybe Michigan is
The
having
guy
a little bit of
coaching
a
him is a
down.
problem.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is is the guy leading Michigan the right team to be the right guy to be doing it at the moment? So you really stop and ask yourself all these questions. I like the stability and consistency we've had at Ohio State this year, top to bottom. We've not had the huge injury that a lot of times we have heading into these games as Buckeye fans. I'm
Showing up relatively healthy.
I'm taking Ohio State, man. I think Ohio State gets it done in this one. I'm going 27 in this one, Brown, to 13. 2
Okay.
touchdowns in the big house.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm going with the who's peaking at the right time. I agree with what you're saying, Bub. I like Ohio State in this spot. Marvin Harrison,
Maserati.
is he still second? I think probably finishes second after the game last night. I mean, with Penix, how he was doing. You're a big Penix guy, Bub.
It was
I mean,
a rainy mess in that
He
game.
was, but I think he made the throws he needed to make.
I
That
do
one
too.
throw in the fourth, that was crucial. Him kind of rolling left, little jump pass. You remember what I'm talking about on the sideline? Incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Like, he just did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
I thought he played really well.
It's
in
one of those
moments he
games
had
you got to
to.
just, if you win, you're happy.
yeah,
You got
but-
Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. Like,
Yeah. I think he, like I said, just tying back into it, I think he's still over top of Marvin Harrison, even though I'd like to see Marvin
yeah.
win it. But
I mean, Marvin Harrison is the best college football player. Let's not get that mistaken.
Yeah.
He's good.
It's just the Heisman's a quarterback
right,
award.
exactly. You just have to do a lot more. when
Who's
you're not-
your Heisman winner? Go.
I mean, I think Penix, but I mean, everybody's loving on Bo Nix right now.
I'm gonna
Even though
roll.
he's taking the L2 Penix.
I'm gonna roll LSU quarterback.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. I really like what I'm seeing from him right now. The numbers he's putting up right now. I know it's lesser competition, but
Yeah.
he's had a great year. So like what I've seen, what he's done with his team. Who you liking the Heisman?
Gosh, I'm gonna root with Bub. I'm just gonna go with Penix.
Big
you know?
Penix.
Yeah, let's go with
You
Big
guys-
Penix.
you guys
Yeah.
love-
I like to see Bub hit a nice little futures bet.
Yeah, that'll get me
Two-
back in my
Hey.
betting world
Yeah,
because it
just
ain't happening
choosing
anytime
that.
soon.
Just 2 guys on some big Phoenix energy together, man. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. Hey, before we go here, want to give a couple of 740 shout out, Bub. Our buddy Cade Wolford, Jackson Ironman athlete, Bub. He's not just a running back. He catches passes too.
Yes,
He
he does.
plays defense, returns kicks,
Yeah, he had a lot of
does all of it. And he was named Gridiron Glory Player of the Year. Shout out to him. Congratulations to you. Great season, great career. We're proud of you. We're happy for you. But before we go, as always, do you have anything else in you say?
The volcano has not erupted in Iceland yet.
Update on the volcano in Iceland. No eruption.
There was one in Indonesia that erupted.
Whoa. Okay, walking Indonesia did. Any other geographic disasters or?
I don't have anything.
Good,
No.
good.
Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you all. That's
On
where I was
Thursday,
going to take it as
we
well.
will be celebrating on Wednesday.
We
Yes.
will be celebrating on Wednesday, out and about in the Jackson community, bar hopping, as they say. So we're going to be out and about. We hope to see everybody else happy, out and about, having a good time, and responsibly enjoying their Thanksgiving Eve.
Yes.
So that's going to be it from us here. As always, thank you for joining us. Have a great Thanksgiving with you, your family, your young ones. Dodo downstairs clapping, your football fans.
Going crazy.
Yeah, she's having a great time. And we will catch you next time right here on the 740 Sports Show. Bye!